You are onto the voice of Kalabari, and on this session, what we preach is love, unity, and progress in Kalabari Kingdom and its entirety. Today, we are talking on a very important topic, which is the Kalabari New Year Festival. And with us, we have esteemed guests. You're welcome. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, I want to first of all appreciate the convenance of this beautiful Kalabari New Year Festival. My name is Dr. Toyin Desprie Benibo. I am a lecturer at River State University.
You're welcome. Chief, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Alawa Kingsley, West Young Jack. I'm an innovation technologist. My specialty is in biometric security.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, my name is Harry Awolaye Ofori Morrison. I'm the Chief Administrator of Kalabari Renaissance. I'm a
Welcome.
broadcaster and a certified advertiser.
Welcome, sir.
My name's Benabo Omoni. By the grace of God, I'm a CDC member where this lot of a project or event is to take place. Toros Ramapri, to be precise, in Lem Kalabari. For my wife is Chairman Kalabari Sekbange. It's a
Welcome, sir.
pleasure.
You are wholeheartedly welcome to this session. With me on this session is my co-host. Please, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Priye Yala.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
On this session, we are to expatiate and expose the rudiments of the Kalabari New Year Festival. A lot of young minds, a lot of old minds are asking, what exactly is this New Year Festival containing? The very first question we would ask is, can you describe the origins and the significance of this New Year Festival to the Kalabari people?
Okay, the Kalabari New Year Festival is not an innovation, it's not a new thing. It's been in Kalabari for years. A lot of people would understand that while they were young, for the older ones, that there is what they call Amade Ingula. And specifically on the 15th, and particularly on the 15th of November, the year is celebrate ends with all the communities. It is the coming of the saline water into our community, and it disrupts the fresh water coming to mix with the saline water, which is our domain. You know, it mix and impurifies our saline water. And you see that on the 15th, when they do this ceremony by the Ekinisekapo at midnight, it turns and the flood ebbs. And whether you like it or not, in all the Kalabari communities, it is not in any particular Kalabari community, in all the Kalabari communities, that same thing happens. And all the Kalabari communities handle it in their own way. But what the Kalabari Renaissance is trying to do now is to unify the Kalabari communities across bird. It is to signify that we are one and bring us together as one and bring in more development into Kalabari. That is what the Kalabari Renaissance is doing by bringing in our culture to the glare of the whole nation and globally.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. By scientific, okay, you want to add to what he said?
Yeah, what he said is the truth, but I just want to add some little information. You know, you've been in America. There's a time difference between New York and any other American city. Coast, yeah. So in Calabari, when this tide is in head, it is true that we celebrate it on the 15th against 16th. Okay, but there's a small time difference between people in the oceanic area. That's the Kola on the Abese area, and those who are within Abonima, Bukuma, Elimsangama, and so on. So the time difference is not too much, and so we still maintain that it's 15th midnight and against 16th. So, but a small variation of time difference. So that's what I wanted to
Welcome,
add.
sir.
Yeah.
By scientific research, it shows that these old explanations falls in during the spring tide. Now, how do we now correlate all these that have been explained to the scientific mind that see this thing is science, but then this is our own reality? What I mean is
Yeah.
the moon controls majority of the water
Yeah.
because once it pulls out, the water ebbs, water flow ebbs, and when the moon is full and closer to the earth, the water ebbs in. So how do you now relate these explanations to the scientific Kalabari man that does not have or he does not have any knowledge of these explanations?
Okay. I was I'm I'm planning, by God grace, if I can, to publish a book named Engineering Without Machine. It is a book that I'm writing, and I just hope I should be able to conclude it before the event day, which I will outrightly publish and showcase on that day. But if it doesn't happen, then it will happen next year. In that book, there are a lot of things that we will learn, that we don't use a clock to know our time. We use our tide to know timing. We use what our shadows in the water to know time. We use signs of birds and debris to know when we are moving from the Atlantic Ocean down to the inner creeks. You've never imagined there is no bearing. How are people going to the Atlantic Ocean and no
No
compass
compass.
and comes in? We'll show you the signs how it is done. You've never imagine our fathers will go into the forest. They know the kind of wood they will cut. They know what is buoyancy. It was not taught by any Englishman to them. The kind of wood they will use, the one that will make the boat to run fast, the one that will take heavy load
Loads.
and still function well in the river. They know all these things. And when they are cutting the wood, they know which one is rotten and which one will go bad. These are all sciences. So these things, it's something that we want to let it out. It is something that we are gathering from the people who still have this knowledge. It is knowledge that is being embedded in persons. It's unfortunate the modern society does not allow this to go on. Most of us, we grew up in the village before we came to the city. And some who were even born in the city before they go to the village to acquire this knowledge. But a lot of elders who have this knowledge are no longer there. And the ones who are there, the ones who will learn from them, are not going to learn from them. So the science will be revealed,
Okay,
and
sir.
it will not be on this
Thank you,
show.
Chief.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So, sir, please, based on what you're saying or what you just said, I want to ask you, how can this whole thing impact our youth? That they don't want to learn, the culture. All what they want is a quick money. So, how can you people influence them to know about this whole thing you people want to do?
You know, learning, adaptation doesn't come easy. And that's why you see that we're systematic about what we're doing. What we're doing, when we started it last year, we had a lot of queries from everybody who were on the platform where we were trying to do this. And the questions, like what you're doing, was there. We tried to let them understand what the tempo we had in last year's festival compared to what, even when we have not started, we are having is quite different. So it's systematic. It's not going to be easy, but it's a gradual process. And our star project is a Kalabari New Year festival where we'll use that to teach, to make people understand where we're coming from and where we're going to, so that they can all go with
And do you
us.
think are they ready to learn?
Being ready is not what we will begin to say, is how we carry them along, how they will adapt. That is the question.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so for the believers of Christ, through I'm coming, sir. I'm coming, sir. For the believers of Christ, to like for the believers of God through Christ, how can you relate these plans to them and it not seem archaic? That we don't worship idols, so we don't want to involve ourselves in idolatry. So how can you? What are the plans to also bring in the Christian faith and other faiths? Because it's not just about the Christians. In Kalabari today, we have the believers of God through Islam. How do you then marry them together?
um, I'll give to a pastor, a clergyman amongst us who is a Christian clergyman. But you will also understand that where we're taking it to is the head there, the Amayanawa there is a Muslim. But I'll give to a clergy who is here with us.
Okay, the fact is this: science per se is the cognition of reality. The moment you are able to identify a problem, bringing solution to that problem in itself is science. That is the simplest way to explain what science is. Now, our forefathers responded to the environment based on this knowledge that they found themselves in an environment and they needed to survive. Now, bringing it down to us now as a people, the first question you asked about the youth response before we come down to as Christians or believers, what we see or how do we accept all of these things. No, you don't throw away your material culture because your culture is who you are. You can throw away some obnoxious aspects of the culture which may not align with your faith. So that one is acceptable. But there are aspects of our material culture that you cannot throw away, you cannot do without. You are a Kalabari man, first and foremost. God made you and planted you in a particular place. If let's say we'll take the story of the Tower of Babel, where people, our languages now dispersed to different places. It was God who dispersed us. That dispersion at the Tower of Babel was an opportunity for God to make. We have now we have Ogonis, we have Kalabari, Ikwere, and every part of the world. There are different languages. Does it now, if we now say, okay, we are abandoning our traditions, what will we now pick up? Our first and foremost, we are Calabaris by the grace of God. And for us not to throw away what God has given to us, we must identify those things. There are so many aspects of our material culture that we even need now than before. Because at the point when colonialism and imperialism came, it's totally separated us from who we actually are. And I can tell you there are aspects of our material culture that are still very relevant even in future. They did not throw away the name Tamuno. Tamuno still remained. Our people still know who Tamuno is. We knew who Tamuno was. We still know who Tamuno is. And we will continue to know who Tamuno will be.
The importance of this question is that the Bible, from the Christian part,
Yes.
says, "Do not be yoked with unbelievers." As
Beautiful.
Christians, as a Christian,
Yes.
wouldn't it be that some persons are Muslims and they're in the same environment, eating together, celebrating together? Would it be seen
Beautiful.
as being yoked
Beautiful.
with unbelievers?
Beautiful. First and foremost, when Moses left Egypt with Israel, he did not only live with Israelites. And when Jesus was preached, when the Pentecost came on that day of Pentecost, while they were in the upper room praying, every other person heard them speak in their own language. That is to tell you that God wants us to be together in every way possible. When we gather as a nation, Nigeria, we are more than 500 different ethnic groups and 250 languages. But yet, we are a nation. And I can tell you, every other nation on this planet was not formed by one group. They were all formed by different groups coming together. Jesus would have done his ministry alone, but he brought 12 men that had different backgrounds, different orientation, and among them was a thief. Yet he still maintained his 12 disciples. So the purpose of this, we must come together in every way possible. We must come together. There are aspects of all of this that we are doing that to me may not be acceptable because of my faith. But that does not stop me from trying to build cohesion to rebirth Kalabari.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any other thing to?
Oh, no.
Okay, let me also ask this.
Okay,
We live in a modern world,
beautiful.
and the modernity of this current life is focused on equality. Some persons would want to preach equity, some would say equality. Is it fair to the women that we have more of men involved in the planning? That's one. Two, in what ways can it be explained that this festival also has a lot in store or in stock for the women?
Okay, by the working of the Kalabari Renaissance, it's on a volunteer basis. There's no coercion of anybody going into anything. You can also ask those on the platform. It's by voluntarism. And you can also see that there are women here. There are women with us. It depends on the timing because perhaps some of them do not have the time to come, but it's an all inclusive system that says everybody should be involved. Going wider, the Kalabari people recognize women strongly. I've said that several times. You know, a lot of people will argue with me, but the child belongs to the mother. In Kalabari, the child belongs to the mother. And you see that most of our parents, most of us, grow up with our mothers. We do things with our mothers. The women, just for example, in other traditions, you see that it is the men that convene, arrange marriages. But in Kalabari, you see that it's the woman that determines marriages and most other things. Um, I'll go even to the English system where they say the women control the world. Is the woman the mother of the chief, the mother of the king, the wife of the king, the wife of the chief that determines most of the things that happen? You also see that even those obnoxious beliefs, obnoxious things, you see that it's the women that come and execute it. Have you seen where they do the morning ceremony for the woman? Do you see men there? You don't see men there. You see the women that take part and do whatever they want to do. You see, marriage, I've said it. In marriage, you see that it's the women that carry out the marriage ceremony. Beyond the Kalabari doing that as an all-inclusive system, Kalabari Renaissance too is an all-inclusive system that we operate.
All right, thank you, sir. Sorry. I think I should ask him something. You said you're the former chairman Kalabari Bange.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, okay. So what's your role to play on this?
I think on that day, most importantly, the security aspect of the Calabar territory will be taken care of by council. We have present youth chairman. That by I think we are working in synergy to see that the river is calm for our people to go in and come out freely. Of course, we know already right now we're on it. We're in charge. I think we're assuring Calabar people not to be scared in coming into Torres Rama Prairie, where the event will take place and go back. The king has also assured us. So council is doing that for the organizers.
Okay,
That's not,
concerning the security aspects, not only people guiding the waterways and all that, what about the boats and all that? Are they well placed and organized? Because these days, for instance, the case that is happening at Bonny River. So how do you feel? Like, what will you do about that? Because some engines do spoil on the way and all that. Even when we are going to Helen Kalabari, we observe such things. So is it going to occur again? Because
No,
this
it will
is a
never occur.
huge.
Safety is guaranteed. We have standard now. There
Okay.
will be life jackets provided for everybody that will come in and go out. Then our king is also on it too. That's why I said the IYC is working in synergy with organizers and the security outfit, precisely Abama Security,
Okay.
to put these things in place. Nobody should be scared. We're on it. Security is guaranteed. Safety is assured.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you have something to say.
Okay. On the issue of security, I always have this to say. I say there is nowhere that is security free. Even in the United States, everywhere in the world, there are security problems. So when one or two incidents happen in a particular place and people overload these incidents as if it's something that has never happened elsewhere before. It's baffling. Now I'll tell you, Bonnie plays Wanta every December. All right.
Yes.
And in the Bonnie waterways, there is kidnapping, there is abduction, and up the rest. Up till this moment, the waterways is still safe. It is not that it is not safe, but once, twice, there will be a bad situation. Things happen, bad things happen. That does not stop Bonnie people from going to Bonnie. That does not mean that every Bonnie man that is going to Bonnie will have to shatter and hire security personnel to join him and escort him to and fro Bonnie. Bonnie still go. And in December, Wanta will be played and Bonnie people will still go home. That does not mean that I'm praying or I'm advocating that there should not be security. The same thing in Ellen Calabari. Uh, since before now, I don't know, but since Elijah Asare took over that place as a king, I think it is only one incident that has happened there. And beyond his immediate domain, he has even moved beyond that to even save military men, other neighbors who were being caught, and fetch out most of these persons that are doing these things that the security people cannot even handle. You and I know today, Alayasare and his Mama soldier, they are not operating in Rivers State per se. He used his own personal resources as a king to ensure that the waterways of Kalabari is secure. Rivers State government or the local government people are not giving them money. He's using his own personal resources. And he has not complained. He's saying that that place is his priority and he will do and do more. But having said that, the local government chairman, the incoming, they are already there now. They will also be part of this arrangement. The chairman, when he was campaigning, the Degema local government chairman, when he was campaigning, when he came to Elim Kalabare, one of his promises was to ensure that he partner with this project and ensure that these things have to come and go in peace. He will fully be involved, and he promised to bring in the other two local government chairmen to be part of this process. And I know very well that they will do the needful and it will all go in praise. There will be no bloodshed on that day. The waterways, Alajasari did his birthday some months ago. The waterways was free, left, right, and center.
Thank you,
No
Chief.
incidents happened.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Everybody, yeah. And as such, the issue of boats having problem, that is machine. It is not any person's doing. Everybody, you will see most of the boat drivers prepare their boat, take it to servicing and whatever. But the moment they are out on the road, something happens. Most of the problems are not just big problems. Some of them are just minor things. They will fix it and they move. They have their toolkits
Thank
with
you,
them.
sir.
So I don't think that should be something that we should bother about.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Um,
let's
just
just conclude
just
in
in
conclusion.
conclusion, you know, there is a lot of educational benefit of this New Year festival. The benefit is profound. We encourage young people to be part of it. There is so much to learn from the ancient relics that are in Taurus Ramapri. There is so much to learn from the festival. There is so much to learn to understand how saline water pushes out the fresh water, and how fresh water flows into saline water. There's so much to learn from nature. We encourage young people, we encourage Christians, we encourage Muslims, we encourage any Kalabari man, whatever your faith, whatever your belief, be part of this project, be part of it, contribute, and come and learn to understand who you truly are. A man who does not know who he is cannot encourage or advise another man of who to become.
Thank you, sir.
So it's important that let us encourage ourselves, be part of it. This is a very important project. Every Kalabare man should take seriously.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, sir.
Thank you.
We've come to the end of a super expository session on the Kalabari New Year Festival, its planning and its execution. We encourage you to follow us on all social media platforms, ranging from Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, to expose and also showcase what we have in store for you. Thank you very much for holding on to Kalabari TV.